Morning, good morning, good morning. We're getting into it. We're getting started. Let's go ahead and get this done. So here. All right. So we're going to block out some basic shapes. Let's start with this one. So the character will also have a jacket. Should be a little bit more like this. So I kind of want it to accordion open this little section, which may be a challenge to do, but I think we can do it properly. All right. And then extrude this. Even that out. Make sure we have it over the elbow. Actually, we'll just move this one back and extrude it. Awesome. Then extrude again. Be right about there. This spot, which is this puffy sleeve. And this part will actually crease. Should have a little bit of crease like that. It's going to be a bit smaller just because proportionally it feels incorrect. Then I'm just going to hide this for now. And we're going to pull open. There's actually a few versions of this one. We have this puffy one. Let's refer to Japanese style one, not the puff one. I guess would be this one then, here. That one's puffy. This one's puffy. This one's not puffy. Move that over there. Oh, that's a nice handy way to adjust things. So go and edit this one really quick. Good morning, Zoom. Hello, how are you doing? Salutations indeed. Indeed. How is your Wednesday going so far? Yeah, she is. She's definitely coming together well. Interesting because I need to figure out the right way to make the shoulder. It's a day. Relatable. A true neutral day. Okay, okay. At least it's neutral. Should I delete this section? And then, well, something like that. Let's say 8 for now. I can always delete it. Point 8 R. This is going to be the collar. Let's turn the mirror back on. This should be at 0 right here. 0. Let's actually put the cursor there so that we can shrink it little ways. Something to that effect. And move this out. So when we look at the shoulder here, I like how angular this is, this nice like sharp shoulder. But the problem is we're in a T pose. So the arm is actually straight out. So this would be rotated to the left. And if I'm correct, it would be kind of a shape like this. So the difficult part is keeping that when we move. We'll be able to hide some of the body. Okay, so we'll take this, extrude 0.6, actually 8, 3, about there. Bada boom, just close that up, remove the crease. Okay, now we've got this shape. And we'll delete the bottom points. And I believe we can just connect this to here. We can. Awesome. I think we'll need another cut right here in order just to play nice with the body shape below. And we may as well just move this over, extrude it in so we can close this section off. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, bridge. Awesome. Okay. Working pretty well. Pretty well. Now this bottom portion, we will crease or squish this way. Screwed up. That's where it will connect with the body. Lurking! Making the zipper will be challenging. Maybe not that challenging. Close that. Boom. Bada boom. Hello, Cecil. Only 15 minutes. Well, we'll make the most of that. We will make the most of it, Cecil. How is school going? We're working on a jacket right now. Well, either way, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Fantastic. Fine, but I'm tired all the time. I must soon work. No. That's rough. That is rough. Well, hopefully it goes quick and you're back to relaxing soon. Actually, it'd be better to boom, boom, just duplicate this whole thing. Then we'll just close the top section here and here. That didn't close well. Why? Because of this. There we go. Okay. Then from here to here. Let's move this up a little. Make it a little puffier, poofier. Poofy woofy. I don't know how much bigger we're going to be able to make that collar. Because in this drawing, this character's head is so tiny. So I don't think we'll be able to match that exactly. Not exactly. Maybe close, but. All right, that is a good start to the jacket. I think we can make it go down the tummy a little bit around the waist. But overall, we're in a good spot. Man. All right. Snardum, hello there. I feel betrayed again. Yesterday you were looking into shadow linking or whatever the name was, and I was saying, yeah, Blender 3.6 still in beta. And behold, they just released Blender LTS 3.6. Was stable so far, but well, day one isn't much to go on. Fair. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, I was seeing a lot of people post the simulation stuff on Twitter, which is exciting. I think that'll be a lot of fun to mess around with, getting all the simulation nodes in. There's just infinite opportunity there for cool stuff. Sorry, yeah. It's so hot. Oh no. It is very warm in Texas as well. Very warm. Well, hopefully you just need to get jump into a pool. If you got a pool, access to a pool. Yeah, I'll probably have to do some simulation node stuff. I'm pretty pumped about that. I have this list. Some people call it a bug. I don't think it fits on there anymore. List of things to do, projects to make. Exactly, like nodes and stuff to check out. There's so many cool ones out there. All right, I think it's time to start unwrapping. Also, perhaps interesting to look at, they released a community asset pack. Oh, I did see a bunch of base characters. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Might be useful for me or other people that are looking to make characters or VRChat avatars. Four base models: humanoids, male, female, realistic / stylized. All right, see you. Sounds good, Cecil. Enjoy your day. Bye. Oh, here's my bye. Bye, Cecil. Good luck at work. I think it's cool to see Blender providing not just software, of course, but actual uh, assets. I think that is a good trend. I think an exciting trend. Looks kind of interesting on its own. Oh, excuse me. All right, so one aspect of this character is the chest. So as it turns out, we will be making swappable chest. Not like that. But we'll want to be able to detach the breast. Question is, do I do it here? Or do it now, or do I do it when? Do it later. I think it might be nice, since it is a robot, to have it look modular. Not just that I've made it modular, but that it is, in fact, a modular piece. Does that make sense? You know, it's a robot. However, I do need things to line up perfectly. So let's back up a few steps. So that means this does have to be creased here in order for it to match the positioning exactly. But we just want to move it out, kind of retain that position. This does not need to be creased. All right, there we go. So boom, boom, bam, 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 bam. Make sure we're in face select mode. Bam, bam, separate. Okay. It still doesn't match exactly. Hmm. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we'll make like a lining on this edge. Where it can be swapped. This is difficult. This is difficult. I should take closer attention, pay closer attention to where these seams are appearing. So I separate, boom. There's a gap here, here. I guess I just need a vertex crease all of those. No, that does not work well. This one needs to be vertex creased. This one. All right, hopefully that works. Moving them is going to be a pain. If I have to move the breast at all later, that's going to get real difficult. All right, but now it fits almost seamlessly. We should get save a selection quickly. And copy paste. All right. So there's the female bits, which will pop up. And now we're going to make the male chest, which will be interesting to do. Close. Feels a little bit off with this curve here. That smoothed it out a little bit. But I can't move it too far in. Or I can't move this edge. All the changes has to be up here. Interesting. Interdesting. I think we'll take this, indent it. Indent. Take the normal, scale it there. Is that more masculine? Does it look like a peck versus a breast? Peck versus breast debate. maybe a little bit too much, actually, for how stylized the body is. Prefer a different cut here, so what we'll do is we'll delete this. Close that. Close this. And this. So now it's got a nice curve. Should probably do the same here. Just so it doesn't feel so sharp. Still looks like breasts. Definitely this indentation on the chest is a big part of that. What if we just close this gap? Doesn't really look like a pec. It's this kind of in this curve here that makes it really difficult to sell. Right, back to this. That's a bit better. I think I prefer something like this over the really defined version. Hello to workspace, dark workspace. Hello, hello. How you doing? I think I just sent you a friend request. If you were the one that filled out my form. But hello. Hope you're having a good day. Perhaps you're not. I'm not sure if you know Zoom or not. Doing good, just working on a project. Heck yeah. That's exciting. Is it Blender related? I need to know. All right, we'll see how that goes. Still gaps. Probably I'm making a blender just so I don't waste money on material. Fair, fair. That is a nice part about digital work. You can cheat. All right. Bam. Nice seeing the work again. Looking forward to how it takes shape. See you later. Oh, sounds good, Snardum. Enjoy your day. But thank you for coming by. Bye, Snardum. Bye. I feel like I should make the head just a bit small. Just a bit small. All right. Increase this. I'm surprised that didn't move up at all. Usually that would straighten it right out. Subdivisions are weird. All right. All right. Now, the difficult part with the jacket is that I did model it with breasts in mind. So I have to create some sort of clip shape or something to shrink it. But what? Why? Cursor's right at the center. Oh, it's because I have normal on. Just forget that. Every time, forget that. Every time. Should the clothes have such deep grooves in between the breasts? Bit odd on clothes. It makes it easier to do the fizz bones. If they, when you have something that connects directly across, it stretches and pulls, and it creates a lot of odd problems. At least that's what I've found. Uh, so, kind of working around the fizz bones here. Yes, exactly. Should help it once we're at that point to actually move better. Bam, bam, bam. And do something like this. Bevel. Or actually, it'd be easier to take these faces, extrude along normals. Yeah, it's a little difficult, but there are hidden faces in here. That's the bad part about extrusion, is it betrays you a little bit. Da, da, da. All right. Better. Maybe a little bit too big there. This one we'll put on 12 and a subdivision. Bada boom. You're looking so surprised when you're focusing. You know, there's a lot of things to discover when you're working. These straps go over the arms. That's going to be interesting when it bends. I can't have them go over the forearm. They have to go over just this arm. If they go over the forearm, that's going to look real weird. Hmm. All right. All right, something to that effect. Then extrude. Do one at a time. There. there. What kind of characters is your personal favorite to work on? Do you have any specific traits or mechanics that you personally like making? Um, I think I do tend to prefer to work on like personas, um, or stylized characters. I think with really realistic characters, that presents a lot of challenges that I don't find as engaging. I mean, they're worth doing, but I prefer something that's in between realistic and stylized, some sort of yeah, in between. That's what appeals to me. Um, what is this attached to? Does this attach to the arm? It looks like it does. Um, and as for, and then even if I'm making like a human character, I still prefer. I mean, you can see with the character that I made with June, um, that she's still pretty stylized in her way. Stylized. I don't like when things are too realistic, I think. There's a lot of fun when a character is just um, not that. Coolio, I was just thinking that in your line of work, you're probably almost never working on your own ideas, so they'd probably not always be what you'd like to do. I think, yeah, if I was to explore just personal stuff, it'd be a lot of like dark fantasy stuff. Like I'd love to do some sort of, and I will at some point get around to being able to do that. But like D&D stuff, definitely something that kind of involves a narrative set in something fantastical. Yeah, I've been I think I'll probably do an experiment tonight. Um because there's a tutorial. I've been thinking that I need to make more tutorials. Um because that's a good way for people to become aware of what I do. The one that I've really enjoyed doing and I figured out a while ago, but I just haven't had the time to experiment with properly, is you can take motion capture data from VR chat. So I think that'd be just a fun and really engaging way to do like short movies or skits. Um, to like take motion capture data. You know, you could get a team of people together and do a little skit in VR chat, bring that into Blender, render it out in some high quality way. I think that just really tickles me. Um, And I think I've talked about it before, but I really like the idea. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be just absolutely just a crazy amount of fun to do something like that. Exactly. Exactly. You are right on the money there. Yeah, I think that you could have a D&D party and they do their session, but they make sure that they've mocapped everything, and then you can just kind of create an animated version of it afterwards. I think that'd be kind of neat. Oh, sorry, yawn. After I get my new Abby, I expect I'll be playing out some of the things happening in our sesh. Oh heck yeah, heck yeah, yeah. I need to plan for that. The travel kind of interrupted my thinking on it, but I think we're gonna shoot for probably Monday to do that session. All right, she's looking good. Let's make a folder for the jacket so I can disable it easily. Still need to figure out the chest though. I think I'd like for it to be some sort of like a lip. So we could take this section and just kind of extrude it back. Like that. And then the breast and chest will actually kind of slot into it. I think that'd work well. But then we'd want to create the same thing for these as well. Paneling. I think I can kind of play that up with the textures. All right. So, breast, chest. Okay, that looks good to me. Doesn't really pick up on my neutral expression much, does it? I think it's the glasses really confuse VSF. I think so. My eyebrows. I think part of it too is the expression I have when I hit reset. No, we'll figure that out. Okay, I'm gonna run to the restroom very quickly. BRB. One moment, y'all. Hello, hello, I have returned. So surprised, Lenny. Okay, that should be better. All right, so now we have the ability to swap that out for this male chest piece. Would be nice if we could tweak the normals here. So to get rid of this really dark shadow. Not a fan of that. Can I just reset the vectors? It always does that. How do I get around that? Normals, 180, tab, Q, reset. That doesn't seem to have helped. Let's just do smooth. I guess smoothing vectors doesn't work without. Correct. So yes, we'll have a chest piece here, and then for a chest instead of a breast. Boop, boop. Kind of fun. Oh, good. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, I think it'll be very fun to put together. This part we're going to tweak as well. I'm going to move this up. Right about there. Does look even thicker with that piece. Yeah, it does. Really gives a kind of a waspy proportions. But it's fun in that way. Switch to a matte cap. Just something a little different. That bad boy can jump to the moon. I'm already on the moon. All right, no gaps that I can see. Good. I need to look at some reference over here. CFRP analyst. It's fascinating to see the model of organics coming from a parametric modeling perspective. Not enough to find constraints for me to wrap my head around it. Interesting. Yeah, this one is just all manual. We do have some subdivision stuff, but I always think of it as putting together a chicken wire cage, so to speak. Parametric modeling is like either Houdini or like CAD programming or CAD modeling, to my understanding at least. But also, hello CFRP, welcome to the stream. So in things like CAD, rather than moving a bunch of vertexes around, you just start with primitive shapes like spheres or cylinders, boxes, and then you can combine them like Boolean operations, but it's a bit more powerful. Um, a lot of times, um, excuse me, there are just shapes that would be really hard to manually model with like vertex modeling that CAD software can do really easily. But usually use CAD software for like industrial modeling. So, oh, I want to make a water bottle or a gear, stuff like that, and it does that quite well. All right, I think the model's coming together. I'm just kind of looking over for small details to tweak and make some of these ridges smaller. Nice, that looks really good. I really like the look of this with this mat cap. That's satisfying. All right, let's do an indent. Actually, first we will put our cursor right here, and then we'll indent, indent. Take these, 0.6, bada boom. Then we'll take these. All right, that should give a little bit more of a belly button look right there. Doesn't have to be too deep, but just enough to get that. So it's a bit like modeling on predetermined sizes and precise measurements, while this kind of modeling is mainly visual confirmation. Modeling so it fits, or modeling so it looks good, versus versus. Basically, uh, there are definitely some advantages to both. Um, the main difference is just that, maybe with Nanite this would change, but basically the CAD models are just, if you turn them into polygons, they're just extremely, extremely dense. So it's not suited to a video game workflow. Next, we'll just fill in this chest piece. No, I guess, well, if it's always going to be filled in, I don't want to put anything there. I did a little bit of CAD modeling in my time. I don't know if it was quite CAD, because Maya, Autodesk Fusion or something like that. Um, yeah, for mechanical parts, I think it's actually pretty hard to compare to uh, this workflow because it just gets you shapes you want right away. But there is something coming out for Blender that I'm super pumped about, which is um, what's it called? SDF modeling. Um, I'm not sure what SDF, not quite sure what SDF stands for, but basically it would allow you a similar workflow where you're just working with primitive shapes and you could combine them in a way that good morning, Kai. Hello, hello. But you can combine them in a way that allows you to create really complex shapes just from working with primitive shapes instead of having to do everything by hand. I'll try to find the tweet for it because it was really cool looking. We're just doing some cuts there to make it a little less polygonal. It'd be nice if we could do the same on the butt here. I think we're going to have to do something like this here. That's a little weird. Oh, that works. Perfect. Then we can kind of push this out just a ways. Make sure that we're getting nice and round. Going to be interesting as ball joints. Indeed. Yeah, the kind of a nice way to test. I can just put the cursor right here and then rotate it. So there'll definitely be some times we just have to make sure that where it rotates is in the right spot. Fusion is definitely part of some CAD workflows, more so along the lines of larger scale model manipulation compared to creating something from scratch. The Autodesk Sphere, I believe, Inventor is used for that. I've not touched much of SolidWorks myself. I'm a boring mechanical guy. Fair. Just got to do one piece at a time. Yeah, I think just interesting all the different softwares that are out there. I see a lot of people who make kit bash stuff. So like, make 100 mechanical parts, so that concept artists or 3D modelers can just throw them together really quickly to make something that looks interesting fast. They seem to use these CAD tools a lot more often than you might expect. Just be lower than that. It's always fun going to the office and just testing few hundred variations of the same support structure. Fusion 360 has nice volume options that auto bevel edges. Yeah, they have it's fascinating to see the quality difference there between Blender and that kind of program. I need to kind of push this out. We'll probably lower the pivot just a little bit. Won't be quite there. Be more like right here and here. Not that you're going to be able to do the splits too often in VR. All right, I think I have to decide exactly where it's going to be right now. Otherwise, it's not going to work well. The design has what looks like separate ball joints on the legs, but I thought the brownish colored bits were stretchy. Wouldn't it make sense to make the upper legs buttocks stretchy and connect them at the seams like a rubber layer covering the joint? We can always change the texturing. I always think of it more like a finish, not necessarily that the whole material is like a rubbery material, if that makes sense. Where it's like what am I trying to say? Excuse me. More that it just has a different finish over the top. Me from back in uni would always make mock-ups in Blender and take the STL to refine it in CAD software. Hockey game is far beyond his from what I'm seeing now. It's just I like that in Blender it can all just become muscle memory after a while. Let's actually do right here, cursor there. What we're gonna do is make a axis. This will be where we decide to put the joint so that I can actually model around it. And we'll do a sphere actually. So see it a bit easier. All right, so right here, or where should it rotate? A little bit further in. That doesn't seem to have helped. I'm homebound. Until later. Sounds good, Zoom. Safe travels. Bye, bye, bye. See you soon. Um, enjoy the train. All right, that bends pretty well. This little bug bothering me. Gotta kill it. I think a little bit higher. About there. That's better. But then when you walk to the side, it's going to do that. Let's try instead taking this and putting the cursor in it there. And in fact, if we were to spherize this, that actually looks pretty good. Whoop, look. That's pretty good. And we can spherize this one. And this one. This one. All right, that is by far the best. Okay, I'll have to remember how to do that because that was useful. All right, and then we line that up. So now we can always come back to that positioning there. But that works pretty nicely. All right, so now we know exactly where we want to put our joint, our ball joint. That being said, I do feel that there are some improvements that could be made, at least to the top here. So I can delete that. Fill this, go to normal, extrude, and shrink like that, just to make it a little bit more spherical. Delete it, grid fill, bam. Just a little bit more rounded. Yeah. Saw a neat concept for Robot Girl the other day. Wouldn't fit this one. Might use one of my personals, but holographic hairstyles. Oh, very cool. Like just kind of see through. That's not too bad to do. All right, that looks like it's now rotating quite cleanly. It still has kind of the shape of a butt, which is important. Eventually, though, there is clipping, but I think overall it's in a good spot. Turn that mirror back on. Boom. We're looking good. We are looking good. Also, we have made the modular chess piece already. And the jacket as well. So for the jacket, there's a few question marks about it. I can't make it go to the forearm. This little stripe that has to go up here. Or it should. Just because it'll get a little weird if it's trying to be on the wrist or forearm all the time. Like I said, you do a lot of female stuff, so I want to give you some options. Heck yeah. No arm stripes? Okay. Just the bottom one then. Oops. Keep this. All right. Sounds good. Switch that. Excuse me. Back to here. Tilt a little. Move it out a little. Whoop. All right. Interesting. This band apparently doesn't exist. This middle piece. It's like a rubber band. I think I'll probably still make a zipper go through it. Like a four-legged character. I have not, but I'm very interested in doing one because it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that would just be fun. That would be a project I do on my own as well, just for my personal. That sounds like a fun personal project as well. Um, Probably make a good tutorial out of that too. But so far, I've never had a commission for one. Technically, do. Um, I did the opposite. I turned a four-legged character into a two-legged character. Definitely not the same thing, but that was a commission I did once. Think you need final IK for VRC? Oh heck yeah, I do have that. Um, though I know that there is a tool, a GitHub that you can find where you can. Um, it basically allows you to upload final IK without paying for final IK because VR chat, the software knows what uses final IK, so you can kind of I don't know if faking it's the right term, but there is a kind of a way to get around that. Um, though it would be really difficult to test that because you couldn't if you didn't have final IK to test it while you're doing it. That's like hard mode, extra hard mode. But yeah, I made a little moth character with final IK once. He had like a bunch of little arms you could control. He was really cute. I have a robot friend that does spider legs. Heck yeah. No speeders. Yeah, I like the dynamic crawling over stuff. Excuse me. All right, and then the zipper does continue up here. So to do that properly, we will add that. Go in here. And collapse these. And this. And send this to 0. Was remote controlled, he could detach it, move it some, then they'll call it back. Oh, that's cool. Way too advanced for my brain to handle. That could be quite a long project to get that working properly. Mm. But that is super cool. Do want to have a zipper here. I think gotta be smart about how I blend these. Three, four, and that should work. That should work. And at last. Yeah. Nice thing about robots, you can make any part a modular, even extra legs. That's true. Oh yeah, definitely send me that list of modular parts that you were discussing when you can, just because we'll need to know how to attach anything you're looking for. But yeah, I think it's just a lot of cool robot avatars that are out there these days. These days. Just bevel it? That didn't really come out any better. I think I'll bevel it after the subdivision. That will work best. That will work best. And as for this stripe here, I have to balance fitting it in there and keeping the jacket close to the body. That looks good. Okay, that should work. Ooh, excuse me. It's already on. All right. All right, I think this is a good point. Actually, we're going to just touch up the shoulders a little bit and then we will pause work on the robot avatar. We're just going to make sure we have the information we need to go ahead. So we'll take a break for now. Once I finish this, and we'll come back to RoboApp either later today or tomorrow. And in the meantime, we'll work on June because she's almost done. So her renders are looking good. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm very pleased with her. I'm super excited with how she's coming out. And it's also very fun to be making like promotional material for her. So any form of inheritance to propagate changes in Blender. Seems like a pain to manually adjust all the vertices doing cutaways. Um, there are add-ons. Like there is a CAD add-on for Blender, so you can work in a similar workflow. You can use like Boolean stuff And technically, I am using a modifier right now called the subdivision modifier. So without it, this is what the mesh looks like. So it takes a simpler mesh and then it kind of subdivides it or smooths it basically, um, gives it extra geometry. So that's kind of a hack or uh, speed up there. Um, but other than that, no. Unless you're getting to rigging where you can attach vertices to bones, then you can move them around. But that's not the same as modeling them. That's when you're getting a model ready to animate. So that's kind of a slightly different thing. But yeah, I would say that compared to CAD stuff, Blender is extremely manual. Uh, yeah, just trying to wrap my head around the workflow is very interesting. Yeah, it's a just a different thought process. But yeah, let's see. There is a Blender SDF add-on. So this is coming out soon. I'm super excited to try this, but it's so you take basically can take a bunch of primitive shapes like a cylinder here, and you can combine them. This is very similar to CAD, but you can combine them in ways and tell it, oh, bevel the edge when you combine, or smooth, or be sharp, all that kind of stuff. Super useful. Cut away or add. I think between CAD and Blender, this is very much a middle ground. Um, and I'm super super excited to play around with it because it'll make making hard surface shapes quite intuitive. So very pumped for that. Anyway, excuse me. Sometime soon. I don't know when it comes out, but I'm excited for it. I think about it every day. That's true. I really do think about it every day. Third party implementation of extrusions. That's neat. It is neat. Yeah, I use quite a few add-ons in my workflow. Um, oh, I need to get the hands done. These are still human hands. Human hands. Ooh, so sorry to yawn. But yeah, I use a third party add-on for rigging. There's a few that are free that I use just for what am I trying to say? Speeding up some aspects of my workflow. It's all for speed ups. Um, it's nice not having the main thing you're working with be paid, but there are certainly some things in Blender that uh, don't work as well as paid add-ons. So that's when you do the third-party stuff. Always cool to see what's going on with the open source. Oh, absolutely. The new Blender just dropped. I'll actually probably be switching over to that one later today. Hand's going to be jointed. I'm basically going to do implied joints, unless you would prefer them to be ball jointed. But I'm just going to do like a segmented look, mostly with textures was the plan. But they certainly can be ball jointed. Mostly just need to get rid of the fingernails. So they have this kind of attachment point in the back. I'll probably have to UV map this one, so let's not worry about breaking things. In fact, let's hide the jacket so I can see exactly how we're attaching the hand. Probably need to make the arms a little bit longer overall. Is her name June? June looks so excited all the time, Lol. It is, yes. It is June. Um, let's make a circle. Let's set it to 36. I'll rotate it. But yes, she does look very surprised all the time. So every time I look to the side, she basically, well, sometimes. I feel like she does something a little different every time I look over at her. All right, so we would want the tip of the fingers to at least be able to reach the halfway down the thigh. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think that will work nicely. Oh, so I'll leave that. But now she looks excited again. I think it's if I look down, I can't tell. There we I think I might need to turn down the intensity of that expression. Oh, I see. It's my glasses. My glasses start sliding down my nose, then it's much easier for her to get that excited expression. Funny. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, so that's a good estimate of where the hand will go. Now let's focus on a little bit more grooves. I think we'll do one here. Reset. Bevel. Alt S. Animate glasses falling down their face. They had to constantly push them up. That's funny. That's a clever touch. The Megane life. The Megane life. I relate to that. That's pretty funny, though. So I did make the tips of the fingers a little pointed. Try that here. Grab these, point to 2, scale them up, shrink them. So we just get a little bit of a point. In fact, I will turn on sharp here. 0.2, just to make them feel a little bit more robotic. I think that helps. That knuckle here feels a little too big now. At least this way. Squish it. Two, three, this one. All right, that feels a little bit better. A little more artificial in its way. Slick. Slick. Not a fan of how this arm's going. I think we can adjust that. Something like this. Something a little bit more sharper. Kind of a sharp. I forget which bone this is. The arm bone. It's connected to your shoulder bone. Something to this effect. Hey there, Val. Hello, hello. How you doing? Indeed, I am now a VTuber. But yeah, I'm this is June that I hey, thank you for the follow CFRP analyst. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Oh, and Tis BD a giraffe. I think I missed your follow earlier today. If you're still here, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Oh, someone also said to drink water. Doing fine, doing fine. Been super busy. That was me drinking water. um, well, I hope it's not too crazy busy, but I certainly hope you've been doing well. Happy you're coming by. Hopefully, it's just a pleasant amount of busyness. Work, no, not so much. But this past weekend, I pleasant, busy helping with PJKT Fest. PJKT, what's that? Pajama night training. Pajama night training. That's my guess. Am I right? I think I'm right. she is very, she's very easy for her to smile. Project Community, it's a VR convention festival group. Oh, very cool. We just had our first big event last weekend. Hey, that's awesome. That is super cool. All right, well, if you're ever doing something like that in the future, I would be happy to promote it here. Um, get the word out. All right, a little too big, but we can kind of scoot it back like that. Well, I'm glad to hear it went well. Was there like a particular focus with the community or the event? On the various VR communities? Okay, interesting. Just helping bring awareness to the different communities. Fascinating. At events showcasing what they do in a world where booths for folks to check out. Okay. Yeah, I need to get on those booths. Kind of slacking on my brand awareness campaigns. Not that I had products before, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Kind of looks like Mewtwo right now. That's what I'm reminded of. Oh, sorry, yawning. Oh, oh. I should just mute myself when I do that. All right, I need to redeem so you can throw things at me. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's what we'll do right now. Because I need to stop here on the avatar. Wait till I get confirmation for the additional features, and then we'll keep working. Um, but I think in the meantime, I'll try to get it set up so that my VTuber is interactable. So that'd be kind of fun. So, what was that script called? Or VR or VSF throw things. VC face for tits. Nice. Twitch integrated throwing system. um, something. I think this is it here. So you can throw things. Put things on people's heads. Apparently, all right. So here, really quick. VC face for tits. What does that mean? Their face is tits. Yeah, I've been unsure about that. There we go. Let me sneeze. Excuse me. My cat is yelling. How dare she? How's this work? VTuber Plus. Do I have to have both of these open? VSF and VTuber Plus? Twitch username. Okay, so let's get this stuff set up. Stand better. So Twitch O off. Key. Perfect. Bam. Log in. All right, so now what? It doesn't seem to see my character. Oh, that was a mistake. I toggled it. Now I can't see anything. All right. Let's open that back up. Good. So double check. Log in. All right. Let's look at the hotkeys first. Control U, toggle UI. Control A, import avatar. Okay, so I can just import it here. Where is my avatar? It's in my Unity project. 2023. Unity, avatar, C, assets. Da, 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 da. No, wrong one. This one. Assets. Me. June. June V2. VSF. Bam. Copy that. All right. Control A. This one. Open. I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. There she is. So I probably need to turn off VSF for this to get set up. All right, so let's do that. Bye. All right, so we'll do that for a second. And then oh, VR chat OSC test. Super cool. Ragdoll. I should probably look up a tutorial for this. Oh, so let's load scene, save scene, Discord, import VRM VSF, extras, tutorials. There we go. Terms of use, screenshots. All right, I get that. Make an empty. Oh, custom items. Custom head pads, health bar, Steam Deck, WebSockets, VRChat OSC, Spout. I thought this would be a tutorial. To use this tool, you need a motion capture software like VC Face with OSC VMC protocol running at the same time. Okay, so I do need VSF. That's what I thought. But we need to turn on the OSC protocol. There we go. Start. Settings, general settings, OSC, send data. Sure. Then we go back here. Oh, no, I guess it's just working now. All right, so here we go. Working just fine. And throw. Fun. Food. Food. Is there food? Oh, it's in my hand. My hands don't seem to be working. That's funny. Get out of here. Goo. Wow. Got some questions. This is cool. A lot of fun stuff here. Whoa. What the fuck? All right. So I just have to open this one first. Then I can get it set up properly. Get off. Oh, geez. All right. So many. A little bit smaller. Whoa. I'm scared. What's the thing around? Oh, throw ring. Gotcha. That's fine. Pat the head. Pat the head. All right. That looks good. So now a little bit more accurate. That is funny though. Oh, now I don't know if I can get that off though. Fuck. Okay, it just disappeared. That's funny. Ragdoll. Oh, I have a health bar. Funny. This is pretty cool. Okay. Seems like a lot of fun stuff you can do. I don't see the pat patch notes rewards. Here we go. Okay. So, throw name redemption command. All right. So, are you guys ready to test this? We'll set this up right now. So, let's see. I can go to Twitch. No, I might as well do it here. Twitch.tv/Sam Detter. Oh, mute myself. The worst. Hearing myself. Where is it again? Creator dashboard. Viewer rewards. Rewards. Or not rewards, I guess. Channel points? Channel points. Here we go. Enable channel point. Manage rewards. We got drink water. Toot. I'm going to get rid of the avatar giveaway right now. Oh, interesting. Okay. Man. And then default rewards. Those are all good. Toot. Let's add a new one. Throw. Description. Add a blurb. Throw something at me. Enter amount. I don't know, 300? Great. All right, so it should be there now. Pats the head. But does it affect my VSF version? Before anyone tries, let me make sure I have the right view set up. So I think I need to change this. That's VSF. So we'll make a new. Actually, sorry, one second. Let me leave VSF on. VTuber Plus, screenshots, blah, blah, blah. Custom items. Steam Stream Deck. Do I have to do that? I hope not. Spout. Ah. Do I have to restart this? Okay, well, I probably have to restart OBS to do this, so I'll have to do that during lunch. Also, is it lagging right now? I can't tell. I can turn down the effect settings, general, bloom. All right, everything's already turned down. Let's make this tiny. Oh, shit. Didn't expect that. But I do want to make this tiny. So then I want to use this one. And we'll go here. Bam. Confusion. Game capture. We'll say V tube or plus. Capture specific window, window VTuber plus, allow transparency. Okay, perfect. All right, so it's already transparent. I can just go ahead and hide that. And then I can go to my stream and we'll just leave her full screen for right now. This could be hidden as well. Actually, turn off VSO. Twitch, my stream should be able to go to here and bam, throw. Oh no, I didn't set it up in V2 Plus, of course. Though I didn't even redeem it yet, but I need to go here, go to rewards, throw, items, tennis ball. Is it always going to random? There we go. Random, name, throw. Throw. And there's a damage. I guess we'll say 2. No, maybe 1. Oh, need to change that hotkey. All right. Add. Throw reward. Oh wait, this was a reward. I could have edited that the whole time. But this is the one I want to edit. Okay, but now I have it. Well, throw. I heard something. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, that's fun. So apparently now. Oh, so weird. I was navigating my computer while looking at Twitch. That totally fucked with my brain there. Okay, so now you can throw things at me. Cool. All right, so I think that should be a pretty cheap reward. I don't really know, but we'll see how it goes. That's questionable. Now, if I do the ragdoll, apparently I have a health recovery time of 2 seconds. But I don't know what my health is. Is there a health bar? I don't see one. Okay, whatever. All right, we'll just do that for now. And I think we've got a good setup. Now things can be thrown at me. Powerful. The power of technology. We'll put camera right here. Okay, for one last thing. For the render, let me turn down the FPS to 30 probably. Can't turn on. There's no need for anti-aliasing. We're already shrinking everything. But I would love a light. That looks better without the shadow. Screen ambient. Disabled. Ambient color. All right. I think that's good. All right, close this. Close that. Oh, nice. No, it still disappeared. Okay. All right, so now you can throw things at me. Should you feel inclined? It is very laggy. Is that just me? VSF? Hey! How dare you, Val? How dare you? No, no, no. Wait, where's my leap motion? That's kind of cool. Apparently, though, if enough things are thrown, my character will ragdoll. So that's funny. I don't. Okay, so I should be able to turn off everything. Interesting. But it doesn't matter in VSF. Just want it to be as. Yeah. My leap motion should be on. Settings, general, leap motion. Is it just not detecting it? Give me my hands. There we go. Oh, why do I have a burger or hot dog? Oh, I can eat things. That's cool. Power. I don't even have to go to lunch anymore. I can just eat virtually. All right, we'll have to set that redeem up a little bit later. But for now, good. All right, let's make a backup copy of file here. Save. Bada boom. All right. Need to create some sort of stand for the leap motion. Okay, what else? So I don't know. We might as well make some more commands. I got an hour. We're just waiting on some info for continuing here. And then yeah. I guess I could try to fix the sensitivity of all the expressions. Ah, because it is quite sensitive. Expression settings. Ah, whatever. All right, let's do more rewards. That's fun. Ba, ba, ba. So go here. We'll go to BAM. Fewer rewards, channel points. And what all do we have again? There's throw, drop, cost. I don't know. Is 300 a good? Definitely would want some feedback on that. Just let me know. Food. 300 channel points to throw something. Seems fine. I would think so. I mean, 300 is pretty quick. Bucket. Drop a bucket. 500. We'll give it some sort of gradation of value. Bucket. Did I just do bucket? I did just do bucket. Confetti. Celebration time. How dare you? You just bucket me? Hang on. Oh, let me make sure it's set up first before you before you redeem. Why is it 4.99? 500. Great. Did I do that right? Confetti. Okay, yeah. Should be spelled exactly the same. Splash. Questionable splash. We'll make that one. Make that one 750. And then goo. Goo. Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon? I don't know how to spell Nickelodeon. Goopy. 750. Create. And that should be it for now. That's all we'll start at the moment. And then I think now I go to rewards and I just make sure it's set up properly. So, okay, I see. I can add the drop random from drop, just making it super simple. Add. And then food, random, food, add. Confetti, confetti, add. Oh wait, but this is I need to have it in there too. So throw, drop, drop, food, food, and confetti, confetti. How do I stop editing now? Close. Back to rewards. Okay, now we're back to doing these. What were the rest that I made? Confetti, splash, and goo are next. Splash, add, and goo. 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 Add. All right. And then I'll go ahead and test them now. So if I go to my stream, and I think it should work just fine now. I think I can go do confetti. Ready. Nothing. All right. Ready. What? But the throw worked, right? Didn't that one work? Okay, throw's working. So what's different about them? What did I mess up? Did I get the spelling? Go to rewards, channel points. So many clicks to get here. And they're spelled exactly the same. So I don't really think there's, oh, what the heck? I don't think there's an easy way to mess them up, but hydrate, row, throw, throw. That one's right. Drop. Oh, Oh, I think I didn't click off of it, so it stayed. No, it's not saving them. Gotcha. I see. I need to hit this arrow. All right. Splash should work, and goo should work. Okay. So back to here, back to my channel, and now should be able to redeem, drop. All right. Perfect. And then food, redeem. Now I have food in my hand and I can eat it. Bucket. Bucket didn't work. Okay. Double check that one. Confetti. Nice. Nice. Oh, jeez. Flash. This one's questionable. Yippee! And then goo. Did I not redeem that one? Goo. There we go. Don't need no goo. Need no goo. Yay! Celebration time. Oh, jeez. Okay, bucket is, I think, the only one that's not working. My apologies, Val. Let's check that right now. Oops, that's not it. Oh, gross. I feel like I need to change the color on that or something, if that's possible. Oh, it's because I never made a bucket one. That would explain it. So, bucket, 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 add. All right, now that should work. YouTubers are for Coomers. Hey, that's my core audience. There we go. Bucket. Get it off. Can I lift it? Well, yeah, I guess kind of. um, and then splash. I was hoping that would have been the settings for splash items. Goo color, liquid color. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we'll turn it. Make it a blue color. Oops. What? It's confusing. Blue, yes. A little less saturated, a little brighter. Something like that. Okay. Splash. All right, that feels better. Okay. Well, amazing. Feel like I just upgraded my whole stream there. All right. What next? Let me look at my to-do list here. Ow! Dang. My hand. My poor little hand. I should probably turn on the desktop audio now. So that it does make a sound. Powerful. I've made chat too powerful. It's my to-do list. we definitely need to continue working on June. So I think we'll go ahead and I need to render out a video. So it's going to take some time. We'll do that starting at lunch. But we do have some other things we can render out now. And we'll create a Gumroad listing for her to start with. So go here. Create a new product. This will be June. Digital product. Price. Let's just say 15 for now. And our chat. I don't know. Something like that. June. And we'll need to make some images. Loading, loading, loading. All right. This is our turnaround. Let's go for the thumbnail V2. And I think we'll just use this image to make our thumbnail. And I believe that's already been rendered out. Okay. 2023. Avatars, June. Branding. Thumbnail. Yeah, pop this open. And I said thumbnail, but I really should have been calling those images something else. Oh well. Oh well. Oh. And that's what exactly we'll do. Shift Control S. Thumbnail underscore 600. Okay. Then we'll turn our crop on. Go ahead and shrink this down onto her face. Something like that. A little bit smaller. Boom. Then image size 600. Save. Close. Upload. Computer files. Avatars. June. Branding. Thumbnail. Open. Okay. A fully functional VR chat ready avatar. Actually, we want variations, versions, add version, VR chat avatar. Additional amount 0, description, fully functional VR chat ready avatar. This includes a Unity package. Blah, blah, blah. We'll do the rest of that in a second. Close drawer, add another version. VTuber. So June VTuber. And no additional amount, but then we want one more, which will be June VRC plus VSF or VTuber. Awesome. Okay, so those will be our versions. That's how many we'll be creating. Specify a refund policy. There's no refund because it's digital product. All right. Just save, continue for now. Trying the new content editor. Now you can insert rich text and images, embed videos in addition to uploading files. Got it. We have these 3 versions. Now what we'd like to do is create some images. I want to get rid of this here. I'm going to make another copy. Turn around body, step. Delete that. Delete this. Take our camera target. Nothing's moving the whole time. Perfect. This is just going to be 3 frames. 1, 2, 3. So I have this one here. This one on the side. Actually, we'll do 4 frames. There. Oops. This one here. And this one here. All right. These will be PNG images at, let's say, 200%. A bunch of stuff I was meaning like chest stuff and separate them extra for non-stream, but since chit-chatting now, I got more ideas. Damn it. Perfect. PNG, boom. RGBA. So doing render for the showcase, indeed. Yeah, I have a video I want to render out, but I have to wait till lunch to do that. Which is fine. That's just what it is. But in the meantime, I'd really like to start putting together my Gumroad page because I'll be putting her up for sale soon. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll switch this to 2048. 2048. Camera. That should help. Or I'd make the road out of gum anyways. I don't know, it's super sticky. All right, let's render these out. And there's no compositing happening, right? Wants to do that. Let's get rid of that. That should be it. Render animation. All right, this will take just a second, but it's gonna get laggy. Very laggy. I'm used to no frames. I play VR chat. 4 people in a room. Can't do anything. Oops. Oh, I did not want to open Painter. Gumroad. Oh wait, no, it says right here. Image dimensions. At least 1280 by 720. All right. So now we've got Photoshop open. Just as many programs as we can put on my computer at once. And we'll do 1280 by 720. Then image size, 1440. All right, show Control N, save. And this will be June branding images or promo images. All right. First step, invert the background. Second step, get these in there. All right. This one should go here. This one should go here. We'll just kind of space them out as best we can. I think I'll have to redo these. Because the coloration is very different at each point. Because it's very yellow here, very blue here. What can I do to fix that? And can I just refresh these? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Hey, well, Kai, just a question for you. As someone who sees a lot of VR chat, do you feel that there's anything on this character that might be missing or perhaps expected from other people? Not to put you on the spot. I just was curious if curious to get some feedback from people. I don't know. Just I would like. I feel like I made Alma my witch character, and she was not very. I don't want to say well received, but I feel like there was a little less interest in her. Um, Whereas I'm hoping there will be more in June here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think she'll do quite well. Fingers crossed. I feel like I just need to push more into an aesthetic that people that's more expected of VR chat maybe. Maybe VR chat wants more toonish characters. That's true. That's true. They do like the anime. Filthy weebs. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, no judgment here. Um, flat lit outline. Gotcha. Gotcha. Like actual toon style. That'd be fun to do. I have some thoughts on that. I think might do like a series of somewhat simpler avatars, but just make more variations of the same avatar. Maybe I'll do a toon style for that one. Make this black and 50% opacity. Jin was about as perfect tune as I could get. So, sorry, Jen. You mean your red skinned avatar? Giraffe. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's right. Ah. For some reason, in my head, I always refer to it as giraffe. That's pretty minimal. I don't mind this setup. Just my name. There. We just need to get her name on here as well. June. Wow, that looks so much like Dune. There's no way people will be able to tell that's supposed to be June. Okay, so we need to use a different font. Fungus. No, needs to be cool, cooler. June. Perfect. Very sci-fi. A little bit smaller. And I think blue. Blue. I don't know. Can anyone read that? I'm a little questionable on that one. It looks illegible. It looks okay. Well, but we can tweak it later. This will just be one of the first images. So we'll call this one overlay. We'll call this one turn around, blender. Do I even need to make it this? I could just that. I don't mind this font though. Why am I not just using that font? Dark. Because the J looks stupid. Everything else looks good. The J does not look good. Woo! Excuse me. Dang, I really like how it looks here, but this just the J is so bad. Can I make just this section dark? Doesn't really that quite works. Same. Make one more folder for the background. Just something, some sort of texture that'll look nice to fill up this space. You know what? I might as well do a new pattern. I'll do the dark. I like that. How that looks. Bam, bam. And we'll say SD pattern. Can I do that? Go boom. Pattern. New pattern. Cancel. Import pattern. Dot pat. So there's a specific type of file we need to make. can I do? File, export, no, generate image assets. That didn't help. Photoshop, custom pattern. Can I use that here now? Yep. Perfect. Let's do image size and we'll set it to 512. B2. All right. Then B2, paste. I would have liked it to alternate. That would have been cool. But good to know I can do that. Good to know. All right. A little bit better. All right. Powerful. Watermarking. I expand my abilities. All right. Call this promo 1. Turn around. Yeah. No need to change. Turn around Blender. Save. And then I should have another image already to use. This one. I feel like I should change the dimensions of this just a little bit. And then re-export it. Save. Go back to Blender. We'll find that scene. Thumbnail V2. All right, this is the thumbnail for Unity. Save. And then we'll do a full copy. And we'll say thumbnail camera. And here, we'll do that format 1280 720. Get it positioned nicely. That should work. All right, render. But let's make sure the name's a little different. Output, thumbnail render, gum. Render and just one. Okay, render animation. That should work just fine. Save. Close. Back to Photoshop. And we'll make a new folder. This will be save. Drag it in. This one. Feels a little oddly cropped. So back to it. Zoom out a little bit. It's a little difficult to get her framed properly. Go to the camera, fill that in just so we can get a really good idea what it's going to feel like. That's better. Render, animation. Could make two versions, like commercial use and regular use. I think so. Oh, why is it? Oh, of course. Of course I couldn't change it. I'm not actually changing it at all. Yeah, right now I have two versions already. One will be the VR chat version, and the other will be the VTuber version that I'm using right now. And then there'll be another package where you get both. And then I think on top of that, I'll have the commercial version, which will include everything. And of course, the ability to include the avatar and stuff. Hey there, Dan Game Dev Pro. What kind of pricing? The avatar is $15. $15 for the avatar, or $15 for the VTuber version, or I think we'll do probably $25 for both. And then after that, I would probably charge $40 for the licensed version. Sorry, my stream lags really hard when I render images. That's very reasonable. Well, thank you, thank you. I'm kind of just looking to get my foot in the door on the products and stuff. Um, License probably more, to be honest, but I never had commercial stuff. Yeah, I'm not. I think for I think compared to a lot of other avatars, uh, I have some cool features that I like with June, but some other avatars just have way more features. So I'm just trying not to. I don't know, we'll feel it out. we'll feel it out. But I appreciate your interest, Dan. Yeah, definitely follow here if you're interested. But I'll be uploading my Gumroad. Um, uh, I'm updating my Gumroad right now with the avatar, and as you can see, she's working well. She's working well. You can change her hair color. You can change her shirt, her jacket color, bra color, and pants. Already following. Well, thank you, Dan. Much appreciated. Oh, okay. I think that's so funny. I do believe you've come by before. I just said first time in the chat, so confuzzled me. But yeah, definitely. If you're interested, I will certainly be making some noise about it. Um, let's see. So many programs now. Let's delete that one. Bring this in again. Okay, much better. Much, much better. So there's another image for our thumbnail. I think we want to change this. This looks kind of funky. Just not a very good color. Or it's like too much. Just too much. Yeah, I hope you're having a good Wednesday, Dan. Um, I know I am off to a fun start today. Oh, that's better. It's better. And I should probably move her eyes so she is looking directly at the camera. I think that would be expected. Just working, so just listen to some Twitch for background. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Much better. All right, time to lag my stream again. There we go. I'm back. Very laggy. Thumbnail. Delete that one again. Drop this one in again. Now she's looking at the camera. Awesome. Much improved. All right. Bam. All right, so we got the thumbnail. We got this turnaround. I think we'll want some wireframe shots in Blend or in Unity. And that will probably be the, actually, it'll take too long to load. All right, I think we'll call it there because I do need to render a video. For anyone new to the stream, I do break my day up into two streams. So I'm going to go on lunch now. So I'll be ending this stream at the moment, and then I'll be back in probably an hour and a half to 2 hours after I run and eat. I'll get you the reference done when I'm home in hours. You messaged me when I was out the door. I had my stuff, my computer. Oh, no rush at all. No rush at all. But that sounds good. East Coast. I'm actually in the Midwest. I'm in Texas, Tejas. So it's about noon my time. Good old Tejas. But yeah, I like breaking up my day, and we'll probably be doing a little bit of a longer stream tonight, but we'll see how it goes. See how it goes. Anyway, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, everyone that's lurking right now. Val. We had CFR panelists come by. Zoom. Thank you all for coming by. Make me warren. Cecil Snardum. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy day.
But I thank you all for making my morning. Looking forward to hanging out with you very soon. But until then, bye bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your day. Bye.